So let's hop right in. An individual can see very quickly what stage of the sales process is the stage they need to be focused on. By taking CRM data, we can isolate which one of those stages is the most important thing for them. To further support the next step, which is to take action, they can see where they compare to their peers and how they're trending in performance. In the metrics library on the navigation on the left, there's a lot of detailed information that sits behind it. For this 3-minute video, we're going to steer clear for time purposes. Down over here, you're going to see important skills in that particular stage. Each one of these stages has different skills, right? You have different things that you demonstrate well in that particular stage. So it would make sense that creating urgency might not be this person's strongest skill set if that's their weakest stage. So sitting behind creating urgency, one of the areas that they could focus on is a reminder as to why this is important. There's some reference material that sits inside of what we call flight school to help them educate themselves. And then there are activities to help them go through a short, meaning time purposes, short exercise activity that helps them improve, that helps them be a little bit reflective around their abilities. Hopping over into the activities, let's just say that that individual was working on creating urgency or getting priority alignment. So you can see there's instructions, and then there's helper text related to this activity. So they'd go through, and if they want to save it throughout, they can. If they want to complete it one session, they can. So next, let's talk about how the individual and the manager might look at that information together. As part of a one-on-one or as part of another type of meeting, they can sit down and review that activity. They can discuss how did the individual respond? What did they learn? What will they do differently? They can talk about what the next goal is that they're going to plan on working on. Managers can have feedback, so you can see that with minimal input, you're having a log of their development, which is really great when it comes to having quarterly, annual reviews, or looking at someone's performance. I mentioned that we were going to talk about forecasting. One thing that you're seeing right here is that, as you read, probably, is that you're seeing that we are going to calibrate around an individual. By understanding their tendencies to forecast accurately, whether they're overconfident or a sandbagger, different ways of saying that. You can see on the bottom right here that by providing a forecast, we're able to understand their tendencies, 30 days out, 60 days out, and 90 days out. So instead of asking an individual to change their behavior, we recognize it and we can calibrate around it. So the output of that is that we run simulations. Technically, it's called Monte Carlo simulations, but in essence, it's just a bunch of simulations, which helps us understand an individual's tendency to land in a certain zone. So one way to read this is to read that a third of the time, a third of the simulations, you're going to land in the dark blue zone, a third in the light blue, and a third in that medium blue. And that white arrow is what your target is. So it's not meant to displace the way that you currently forecast. It's meant to complement it and provide a different way to view your forecast. A couple other things you're seeing on this page that we won't hit on too much. We're forecasting commissions on the bottom right. We're forecasting awards and promotions. So if the team has definition around what would qualify for President's Circle or for promotion to next role, we can track that and they can have access to that at any time. Finally, a manager or someone in sales enablement who's looking at the success of a broader team is now able to see what the opportunity is by individual. Whether I can group by role, whether I group by manager. There's different ways that we can group it or allow you to look at it. Down below that, you're going to see that there's an ability for you to see who's improving over time and go congratulate them. And on the right side, you're seeing what one-to-many or team training opportunities would exist. So at the bottom right, you can see what each role's weakest stage is, where there's a wide dispersion of abilities or skill sets. So, like I mentioned, this is only a short video. There's many more things in here, but I hope you enjoyed CoPilot, and we look forward to answering other questions you've got. Thank you.